Howdy everyone. Alrighty, so now the plan is this. I've moved the wings back away from the fuselage and I've moved the workbench over off to the side, and I am now removing the top skin from the fuselage. Let me move back here a little bit. So here's the plan. I've rearranged the shop ever so slightly to give me a little bit of room around that back area of the fuselage. So here's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and basically rivet the top skins on. I can't see any reason why I should not. Originally I had them both on originally, but then when I needed to work on, when I was fitting the tail, I needed to work in this area here with the bell crank, and that was so much easier to do with this forward skin off. But now that I've fitted the tail I didn't have to take any skins off to work with the tail. So I don't see any reason now why these two skins can't be riveted in place. The only thing that I need to do that I can think of, I need to run rudder cables back through here, and I have my manual trim cable that needs to be run back through. But if I can physically get in here to rivet the skins, then even if the skins are in place, I can get in here to run cables and things of that nature. So that's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and take this skin off and, do all the prep, edge finish, deburr, dimple, whatever needs to be done to get these skins prepped. I'm going to go through. There are particular holes in the longeron through here that can go ahead and be riveted before the skins. And then I'll make sure, of course, that the bulkheads are prepped. They're the same thing. They're edge finished. They're the holes are deburred, dimpled, fluted if need be. Whatever the case is, just make sure that everything is done. I'm going to run these few rivets in. Like I said, there are a couple of places along the longeron that can be riveted before the skins. Make sure everything on the bulkheads are prepped. Make sure everything is cleaned really well, vacuumed, wiped down. I'll remove all the blue tape that's back in here. And then we're going to probably put the fuselage down on the floor. And then I'll put probably some wood or something to lay on in here. And then we're going to rivet these top skins. So that's the plan. So as of right now, like I said, I'm just pulling the skin off. I'm going to do all the prep work. You can see I've got the skin off, obviously, and I want to make a couple of notes here. There's a lot going on in this area. So when you get to this point, make sure that you've got everything ready to go before you put the skin on and rivet it. So in my particular situation, there are little things like this. This bulkhead still needs to be riveted in place. As far as I can tell, it's already been edge finished, but it has not, the holes have not been deburred because the skin was here and I had match drilled the skin to the bulkheads. Since then, nothing has been disassembled. So this obviously has been edge finished and fluted, but I still need to take it off so I can deburr the holes on both sides and then dimple. Same thing with this one. Everything's been edge finished and fluted. Obviously it's been riveted to the fuselage, but these holes need to be deburred and I need to dimple. Again, edge finish, fluting completed. Holes need to be deburred, dimpled. Same here, deburred, dimpled. These stringers that run up here, same thing with these. These obviously have been cut to length. They've been edge finished, but they were match drilled to the skin. The skin is now off, so these holes deburred, dimpled. You can see I've got a couple clecos here for this piece. This piece, same thing. Deburred, dimpled. Then I can rivet this here. Up front, more clecos. So this can be riveted once this is prepped and dimpled. I've got a note here to myself. I got to deburr some holes up front here on both sides. That would be easier to do before this skin gets in place. So it's things of that nature. I have my harness anchors that go here. These were already made and fit, but I removed them. I'm not sure why, but now I have to make sure I get those back in place, bolted, before I put the skin on. And these are the rivets I was talking about. There's a rivet, so you've got your line of rivets here, and then you can see there's a rivet that's kind of placed in between. These in-between rivets, there's one here, there's another one here, there's another in-between rivet here. These rivets get done before the skin gets put on. So I've got a lot of work to do. The skin itself, again, it's been edge finished. It's been edge finished, but obviously the holes have not been deburred and it has not been dimpled. I've got a note written here that all of these holes along this edge need to be drilled. I did not match drill it to the fuselage on both sides, that edge over there as well. So I need to drill these holes to final size before I try to dimple them. You can see I've already got the edge broken. By that I mean I've used my my edge wheel to put a very little break along this edge, so that when it comes down and it lays over the fuselage skin, there's no gaps. It lays a lot nicer. So that is completed already. Basically, all I need to do on the skin is to drill out these holes to final size and then clean them up and dimple. So a lot of work ahead. Let me get cracking at it, because apparently I've got a lot of holes to deburr and a lot of dimpling to do. Howdy everyone. So you can see that I've now got the fuselage down on the floor. I have the front end actually on the floor, and then the back end is suspended on some just stacked up towels and rags here. The reason I done that was because I have to climb inside into the tail area here to do the bucking for these rivets. And with the fuselage on the floor, it kind of wants to take a natural set. And then I just supported that natural set a little bit with this stack up here, just so when I climb into the tail it doesn't droop and the front end doesn't want to come up. So it's really stable. Of course, it's on the ground. You can't get much more stable than that. I've got some towels underneath up here, and I've got a sheet underneath here, although this sheet's really not doing anything other than up at the very front. It's tucked up under the fuselage on the front. But the rest of this is just laying on the floor. It's not doing anything fuselage related. So before I put this skin on and before I get in there to rivet, I went ahead and I ran my rudder cables. So you could see the cable here. And that runs through, obviously, on both sides, all the way back and all the way forward. So you can see it along the blue tape here, and then it kind of comes up. So I got those both in on both sides, and then I've got my manual trim cable It is also run, you can see it in the tunnel area there, and it runs on back, comes on back through here, and it's actually, for now I just have it kind of laying in here. And then of course I've got the cables, the rudder cables coming out the side. The cables come with this sheathing, this piece of tubing, it's for the sheathing. And then I've got, I don't know if you heard that, but that was thunder. We've been getting hammered all day today, big time. This is a screw that you plan for when you do this side skin. You have to drill and dimple for this number 8 screw. There's an Adele clamp in here which holds this in place. That's clearly written in the plans. You'll see that when you get to it. But the clamps are in, the rudder cables are in, the trim cable is in. That's all I have coming back here. You remember that I'm using the zip tip wingtips, and those wingtips incorporate a tail stroke, so to speak. So I don't have any wiring to run back here. So that's all in. I got all my blue tape removed from inside of here. I've got everything vacuumed. I wiped down everything. It's ready to rivet. So what I need to do now is I'm going to lay some boards. Hopefully I have some. Lay some boards in here so I can lay across the bulkheads, and I'm going to lay in there with a light on my back, and Buck and my girl's going to be out here doing the gun work. So I may or may not videotape any of that. I don't think I'll do any time lapse, but I might do some real-time videotaping. We'll see. I'm not quite there yet, but here we go. Doubt that you heard that, but that was more thunder. All right, talk to you guys later.